Hey everybody, Grandmaster Ben Finegold here with the video of the day. As I noted yesterday, I was going to make an MVL video, but those guys suck and I'm great, so I'm going to show you my game. I played in a tournament this weekend in Chambly. This tournament had a different organizer and director, so I got paid before the last round started. Yeah, so I had 4 out of 4. Now, luckily, my wife's son is a very good mathematician, and it only took him about 5 minutes, and we figured out what percentage that was. So thanks for that, Karen. And then the last round, I had a prearranged half-point buy, which I did last tournament because we had stuff to do, very important stuff. Yeah, Maggiano's was pretty good. Okay, so I was very lucky today, and I was lucky for 2 reasons, but we'll talk about it during the game. Okay, so I played Yuri Barnakov. I've never heard of him, and he's 2290 USCF. His FIDE, which I found out about an hour ago, is 2190-ish. And he lives in Tennessee. In fact, none of the directors, people who know a lot of the chess players, had heard of him or seen him. I guess he moved here from the old country, which country I don't know. But he started playing about 7 or 8 years ago, and his provisional rank was like 2400 something. Obviously, he played, wherever he lived, and was a good player. And his USCF is about 2300 the last 2 or 3 years. But I guess I don't play a lot in Tennessee. In fact, I played in Tennessee in not Crossville. Where did I play? I played in a tournament at a resort in the 80s, and I tied for first. That might be the only time I played a rated game in Tennessee. So, yeah. I've been to tournaments in Tennessee because I go to the Nationals. Okay, so I had 3 out of 3, and there were 2 players with 2.5 out of 3, and one of them withdrew. He was tired or something. I don't know. Actually, I would have played him. He was 2180, but there's only 10 players and there's 5 rounds, so it's hard to make legal pairings. Anyway, this was the highest rated player in the tournament, the only master in the tournament. Okay, I had black, so let's get to it. Okay, I play b6 against c4 often, and I also play c6. I play about half and half. I used to play e5 on move 1 in the 80s and 90s, and I just don't do that anymore. Okay, so we played a main line. This position is very common. In my opinion, knight ge2 is the best move. d4 is also good. My opponent played g3. I've never had this position. So I play f5, which is the idea of bishop b7, is to attack the e-pawn. And we did this dance. And here, I thought forever. And usually that's a very bad sign. When I think a long time in the opening and I try to figure stuff out, I just lose a lot of time and I don't figure it out. And I realized that after I moved, and I stopped doing that. So I was looking at c5 and knight c6 and knight a6 and bishop b4 and taking on e4. And they're all okay. I played knight c6. Obviously, I want to play knight d4 and knight b4. And after the obvious knight e2, which stops knight d4, my intention was to play bishop c5. And then I changed my mind. I was like, well, I should put pressure on e4 with bishop b4. Actually, this is very interesting. So the computer is just saying black has a big advantage the last couple of moves. And it actually looks at a line that it plays a line I looked at, but I didn't think it was good. And the computer says it's a huge advantage for me. So knight b4, queen b1, and just take everything on e4. I could take with the knight or the pawn. Take with a pawn, actually, like castles or something. But let's just pretend everybody takes everything, because that's the line I was looking at. I can probably force this if I want to. And then d5, and I saw this position in my head, and I figured after takes, black's probably better, because, I mean, his queen's attacked, he can't move it because I take his rook, and it looks like he has to trade queens. And now I have a better pawn structure, and my knight has these 2 holes here. So gotta be better for black. So I realized that. And then I was like, well, he just takes on e6. And the computer says this is great for black, like huge advantage. And I was like, what? I mean, I just didn't look at it very deeply. I guess he has to take. I don't know. And then white's up a pawn, but white has some issues. I don't think I realized I was threatening d takes c4, like in my head. I saw knight c2 check, obviously. I thought he would stop knight c2 and be up a pawn. But I guess if he stops knight c2 and I take on c4, he's not up a pawn, and then he's a lot of holes here in his position. And I do prefer black there. So the computer just says black's much better the first like 9 moves of the game. I just have to take on e4 at every opportunity, which I considered a little bit, but that's why I thought a long time. Then I rejected it because it was good. Okay, so bishop b4. It's okay. He thought forever, and he made a move that I thought was bad, but the computer says it's fine. Played d3. And I was always really happy if he would take on e4 with a pawn instead of with a piece, because then I thought it was anti-positional. I thought I'd get all the dark squares, so I happily took. And I thought I had a nice advantage here. Computer says it's like equal. Because I have all my pieces out, I've already castled, I have the F file, and it seems like I'm fighting for the dark squares in the middle. So now I went sort of crazy. I played knight g4, which is okay. And I thought, I mean, if it's my move, I'll play bishop c5 and have a big attack. So he played h3, and now I should play knight e5. And I just totally miscalculated. So after knight g5, I think the way he was going to play, because we discussed it after, is better for me. And the computer says that he should play another way. Not that I know what that was. But anyway, I mean, after knight e5, I'm sort of threatening knight f3 and knight takes c4. I prefer black. Okay, I played knight takes f2. I was in a very sacrificial mood this tournament, which is really unusual for me. But some of it was accidental, like this one. So I misunderstood and miscalculated rook takes f2. I thought I have a big advantage. Computer says it's equal, or maybe white's better. And I thought I had 2 good ways of playing. I thought I could take, which I wasn't going to do, and then play bishop check. And then I thought he had to play king e1, and I would play here, threatening queen f2 check. And then I have another rook coming, and I have a knight coming, and his position looks terrible. He's up a piece, but horrible. He can't castle. It's the worst position ever. And I thought I didn't like that as much as just playing bishop c5, and I thought he had to play knight d1. And I thought, for example, I could take and play queen f6, and then play rook f8, and knight b4. And I thought, okay, I'm all over him. And the computer just says it's nothing. So, all right. Which I don't believe. I'd rather have black. And then I said, well, this was before I played knight f2. I mean, this is before I played knight g4. I said, well, he doesn't take my knight. My knight's sort of trapped. And I said, well, I'm threatening bishop c5. Then my knight's trapped on a good square. And if I play bishop c5, then I can play knight b4. My knight gets out. I'm up a pawn. I'm mating him better. So I didn't really look at moves where he didn't take my knight. So, of course, he has 2 ways to stop bishop c5. Knight a4 is a good move. It looks weird, but it stops bishop c5. Nothing wrong with knight a4. I think the computer said equal. But he played bishop e3. And when he played bishop e3, I mean, I can't tell you what kind of feeling that is. You guys at home, you blunder, like, even when you're not playing chess. But I usually don't hang a piece. I hang a piece like every 6 years. So this isn't really hanging a piece, but it's close enough. I actually have hung pieces, like actually hang pieces. But this is like sacrificed a piece, he didn't take it, and now I'm going to lose it for nothing. So that stops bishop c5 from being effective, and my knight's trapped, and I lose a piece. So when he played bishop e3, I was like, wow, I can't believe what's happening, all in my head. Okay, so I readjusted. And I played the best move, knight takes h3, and I played knight e5 and offered a draw. I didn't think I was losing. I thought it was possible. But I thought if I'm going to hang a piece, I should probably draw the game, and then I'm either clear first or tied for first. And when I say tied for first, with one other person. So since first prize was 400 and second prize was 300, if I draw the game, I either win 400 or 350. And if I win, I get 400. And I didn't see bishop e3, so I wasn't very confident at this point that I would play well. And I thought maybe I'm lost. I'm down a piece. But I have a lot of compensation. This actually reminded me of my favorite game, Burn Fischer, not your favorite game. Your favorite game is from Rosenwald 56 when Fischer was 13, the game of the century. The better Fischer game is the one against Robert Byrne from the U.S. Championship several years later, where Fischer sacks a piece and he's getting all over Robert's king. And one of the reasons that game was famous was in the analysis room. Some couple of GMs said Fischer had the worst position, and when they said that, Byrne resigned. So I like that game better. This reminded me of that because I have this kind of attack on his king. So what's my compensation? I have a great pawn structure, controlling d5, so there's no knight d5. His knights are superfluous, Dvoretsky style, and he has these two isolated pawns. And I have potential kingside attack. And okay, my bishop's fantastic bishop. Okay, I'm down a piece. But as you would say at home, I have 2 pawns. Ooh. Okay. So I offered a draw. I thought he would probably take it. I thought it was like 60-40. And he thought a while, maybe 8 minutes. And he played b3, which is not a good move. I mean, it defends the c pawn, but the computer doesn't like b3. Okay, I played queen e7. And now he changed his mind. And he made a really bad move. He played rook f8 check and offered a draw. And I think if he had played any move, I wouldn't take a draw. I thought I was worse, but he didn't take my draw, so I'm not taking his draw. Grandmaster. So rook f8 is a horrible move. And after rook f8, the computer doesn't think black is worse anymore. It's basically just giving me the file. And now I have knight f3 check and rook f3. And I mean, giving away the file is terrible. So now we continue to play badly, but I think this position is very complicated. So that's not my forte. Okay, he played bishop f4, which the computer doesn't like. And the computer doesn't like my next move either. It wants me to play queen c5 check, which I looked at and rejected. But it likes it. And it says maybe black's better. But okay, I played knight f3 check. And this is funny. I thought he would play king h1 and that king g2 was bad. And the computer said the opposite. And he played king g2. And I played knight g5. And I want to get one of his bishops because I like having the 2 bishops advantage along with my 2 pawns and better pawn structure and safer king and open f-file. And he didn't want to give up his bishops, so he played bishop g4. And now I made a move the computer doesn't like at all. I forget what it wants me to play. It says like this is equal, but I played bishop c5. And the reason I played bishop c5 was I wanted to play e5, attacking his bishop. And then when his bishop moves away, I'll play rook f2 check. However, if I play e5 here, he plays bishop e3, so that gets rid of that. So I stopped bishop e3. And he made a move I didn't see, and I thought it was a really strong move, and the computer still doesn't like it. I think it likes knight a4. No, knight a4 hangs his queen. What did it like? It likes... It doesn't like the move he played, but I thought it was really strong. I forgot what move it wants him to play here. It's strange because I want to play e5, and he has to play bishop e3. I don't know what it wants him to play. I just thought this was a very strong move. He played queen d3, which I didn't see, so-called creeping move, recommended by Radiohead. And yeah, now he's going to play bishop e3 again. All right. Now, I have another issue. If my queen moves to f6 and starts attacking him, then my d7 pawn is hanging, and then my c7 pawn is hanging, and then my e6 pawn is hanging. So I played bishop c6, and the computer doesn't like that move either. And now it says white should... Yeah, this is the knight d4, sorry. Now white plays knight d4 with a big advantage according to the engine. So I must have miscalculated. I'm not sure what I miscalculated. I didn't look with the engine about what I was going to do. I looked at it briefly. I was going to play e5, and my analysis was takes, and then if bishop e3. Oh, you know what I missed? I think I missed in this position, I think I missed everything. I didn't see queen e2, and I didn't see bishop takes c5. Doesn't sound like me. So I guess I'm confusing my analysis. I wouldn't miss both moves. So yeah, now that I'm looking at it, e5 looks idiotic. So no wonder it's no good. Okay, so after knight d4, I'm just much worse again. Now his pieces are coming into play. So bishop c6 was bad, and bishop c5 was probably bad, and knight f3 check was bad. And so when he played rook takes f8 check, he threw away his advantage, and I'm like handing it right back. Okay, but I am playing faster than him. All right, so he played rook f1, which is a bad move. Looks good. His rook on a1 is ridiculous. And I played queen f6, pinning his bishop. His bishop on f4 can't move because I take his rook. And coincidentally, I stop knight d4. And my bishop on c6 is defending my d7 pawn, so I took care of that. Okay, and he missed my threat here. I didn't miss it, but he did. So I wanted to get my queen to the king side the whole game, and I was thinking queen g6 was good because it attacks his e4 pawn. So I thought he had to play rook h1 with the intention of meeting queen g6 with bishop h5. And he didn't see queen g6. So, yeah. He suggested bishop f3. I don't see anything wrong with that, so I guess it's okay. And like that. So, and I think the engine suggests something else. I forgot what. Definitely not knight a4 because the e-pawn's hanging. But anyway, he blundered. He played rook d1 because he didn't see my threat. And he's just getting off the f-file so that he can move his bishop if he wants. And I played queen g6. So the problem for him is, I mean, I'm threatening e4, and you can't defend e4. So that's a problem. If he takes my knight, I have a Zwischenzug, rook f2 check, and then I take his bishop, and I assume I'm winning because I'm mating him with all of my pieces. So, okay, and in this position, it says he's like worse, but maybe not losing. I forgot what he's supposed to do. Something very tricky. Let's see. There's some way to give up his e-pawn, which made a lot of sense. Which he did, but it didn't make a lot of sense. Let's see, what was the computer move here? I analyzed this game like 4 hours ago, and I can't remember like any of the variations, because it's too complicated. But I knew one thing during the game. When I turned down the draw, when I thought I was probably worse, I was very happy to be in this situation where I had black instead of white there. I think it's much easier to play black in a tournament game. And this is something people at home don't realize when they're commenting on like Singfield Cup, US Championship, those kind of tournaments. They're like, computer says this, computer says this, computer says this. But, you know, when you're human and position is equal, it's almost always easier to play one side where a lot of your moves are equal and your opponent has to walk the tightrope. And here, even though white's better for most of the game and up a piece, I mean, black's pieces are fantastic, and this is why players like Shabalov and Shirov and anybody who starts with an S and ends in Ov is really good, because they get these positions the computer says is worse, so of course the opponent's happy, but they can't play the position. And some positions are just too hard to play. There's 30 legal moves, and like one of them is good, and the other 29 lose, and the computer says you're better because the computer just plays the right move every time. And this time control 40 and 90 with 10-second delay, he was already in horrible time trouble here. He's getting down to 5 minutes, 10 minutes with 15 moves to make. So, I mean, there's just no way you're going to make the right move. There's tremendous pressure here. So here, white can not be lost if he finds the right move, which I forgot. I just have no idea what it is, because knight takes e4 looks good. Okay, so he played rook f1, which is really terrible. Okay, and I played knight takes e4, of course. Now I'm threatening his bishop, and I'm threatening every discovered check of all time. So, okay, and he played bishop to f3. Okay, so here's a relatively easy puzzle for what I'm giving you the last few weeks. What's the best move for black? And in fact, I think it's the only good move. I think I'm worse if I don't play this move. Well, and obviously I saw it before I played knight takes e4. All right, so pause your video. What should black do here? Let's see how my wife's doing over here. Let's see. Where's the green and red arrows? Oh, that's the red arrow. Should take it down. Okay, and you probably solved it. Rook takes f4. I thought about rook takes f4 many moves ago. I actually could have played it one move, but this wasn't great. Obviously, pawn takes is illegal. I took a piece. So he didn't take my rook. If he takes my rook, I was going to play check. I was planning on playing knight f2 check, but I haven't analyzed it with the engine. But hard for me to believe that's not right. This is the only legal move. And I was planning on playing queen takes rook. And I'm threatening queen g1 mate. And I'm threatening bishop takes f3 check, which wins his queen. So I guess if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. I didn't check it with an engine, so I could be wrong, but I ain't wrong. Okay, so that was my intention. And so he thought a while, and he played knight takes e4. And I thought a long time, and I analyzed 2 moves, and they both win. Rook takes f3 wins. In fact, I saw the winning line, which was takes, check here. And I was thinking, does e5 win? Does g5 win? And I was like, well, I'm down a rook, and I'm trying to win all of his knights. So I don't want to do that. So I played the simpler rook takes e4. And I only have to analyze 2 moves, knight c3 and knight f4. Knight f4 is ridiculous. And after knight c3, I thought like everything won. I thought rook d4 won. I thought rook e3 won. I thought rook g4 won. One of the things I liked about rook g4 was that I don't double my pawns. And I take it with a rook. So I don't play d takes c6 or h takes g6. I'm up 3 pawns. So obviously winning. And I think the computer preferred maybe rook c3. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Doesn't matter, I'm up 3 pawns. So. Okay, he played the much worse knight f4. And that put me in a conundrum. I have 2 moves that win easily. So I played the one for you at home. Queen f5, and he can't do anything. I'm up 3 pawns, and I'm better. But okay, I played more spectacularly for you at home. Rook takes f4, attacking his queen by discovery. Obviously he takes. And now rook takes f3. And now my wife is shocked because I'm down a queen. She can't believe what's happening over here. Luckily, this water is blocking her vision. So this is a pretty cool position. I'm down a queen, but I'm threatening everything. Every move is a threat. So most of you at home are confused because you think queen e8 is really strong. But after check, I play check, which some of you didn't notice. And then I take his queen. Then I'm up 2 bishops and 3 pawns. I can usually win that. I'm threatening pawn takes queen. Well, actually, almost every move wins by force for black. Every square you move your queen to, my rook can check and then take your queen. Doesn't matter where you move your queen. And even if you won my rook, I would have 2 bishops and 3 pawns for a rook. So ridiculous. Okay, so he chose queen b1. He defended his queen. It's very simple to win this way. Rook takes pawn check and then take his queen. And that would be a very easy win for me. But like any professional athlete, I wanted more. So I played rook f2 check, the computer move. Double check, for those of you who are confused. Now, white has 2 legal moves, king g1 and king h3. After king g1, I can move my rook horizontally anywhere. I guess here wins the most material. And maybe I had mate in 1, I missed it. Let's see, was rook g2 going to be mate? I don't see the mate. Oh yeah, rook g2 would be mate. That's quicker. Yeah, okay. Rook b2 wins all of his pieces, but this is actually mate. Whoa. What's happening? What? How'd that happen? Okay. All right, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I clicked something, I guess. So after rook f2, yeah, I guess the quickest mate if he plays king g1 is to check. Wow, it did it again. I had this problem at the chess club in St. Louis about 3 years ago. Wow. Well, 3rd time lucky, or I should give up. Always give up. Wow, that was weird. King g1. Wow, I make a move and then that goes back to the beginning. It's not good. Let's try it again. No, I can't do it. Wow. New variation? Let's try that. No? Okay, I don't know. I'll tell you, you could do it in your head. That's funny, we had that problem in St. Louis years ago and we never could replicate it, so we don't have the problem anymore. But okay, so in this position, after king g1, I could play rook g2 double check, king h1, and then move my rook horizontal like to e2 or d2, and that's going to be mate. So he'll just block with his queen and his rook. Or I could play rook c2, then he can't block with his queen. Wow. So rook g2, rook c2, then bishop takes rook mate. Yeah. Okay, anyway, king g1 loses everything. So you play king h3, and now the points, the easiest puzzle I ever gave you. What should black play? And I'll see how my wife's doing over here. Let's see, 2 bishops, that's pretty good. Okay, she's doing well because she's doing a puzzle. Okay, so bishop g2 check, you solved it, the king moves. This is funny, he played king h4, and then he put his king on g4. The way he did it was pretty funny. Okay, and then I took his rook, and I have a rook and 2 bishops and 3 pawns for a queen, and I'm mating him. Those are all good things. He saved his queen, and I checked him. Now, if his king goes to h3, I have rook h1 mate. If his king goes to h4, I would play bishop e7 check, and then rook h1 mate. If his king goes to g5, I'd also play bishop e7 check. The only way to avoid mate is to play here, although probably it doesn't avoid mate either, but I was planning on playing bishop check, winning his queen. So it would have avoided mate because I would have taken his queen. So, okay, so after bishop f3 check, he resigned, and I win. Hooray for me. Man, I should have played the Singfield Cup and in the Rapid and Blitz, although I probably would have won less games. Would have played more games. So, yay, I get at least 2 rating points, at least, probably more. So I offered a draw, I declined to draw, and then I won the game. Very suspicious. That's the way I win them. And I made a lot of sacrifices, some by accident, but some were pretty cool. So like and subscribe here on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all in the notes somewhere. I don't know. And we'll go into a rant now. I normally rant about Carlsen not being as good as he used to be, but you guys can't follow simple logic. So we'll talk about something else. Kasparov is playing tomorrow. And again, I'll try to be logical for you guys. Put on your thinking caps. So nobody in the history of chess has been good after 50, except Lasker. And that was 1,000 years ago. Or was it 2,000 years ago? And maybe Steinitz was good at 50, maybe. Although it's not clear Steinitz was ever good. But anyway, Kasparov has 2 things going against him. One is he's 54, unless he's 53. He's 54. And the other thing he has going against him, which is more important actually than being 54, is he hasn't played a slow-rated game with somebody reasonable in 12 years. So Lasker didn't take 12 years off. And if he did, he wouldn't have been good anymore. So when you don't play chess for 12 years, and you're like, I have an idea, I'll play everybody over 2750. That's a very scary thought. So imagine if you took Kasparov at his absolute strongest, and you said, well, he hasn't played in 12 years, and he's 54. It's got to be 100 rating points. I think it's more, but we'll just say it's 100 so you're happy at home. Well, that means he's 2750 FIDE strength, which means he's not going to do well, because he would be rated like 8th. And the fact that it's blitz and rapid, I think, is even worse. And these guys are fresh, the new players. And I think his only hope is that the other wild cards, Dominguez and Navarra, they're not 2800. They're low 2700s, mid 2700s. So he could beat them. But I mean, Anand and and Levon Aronian and Karyakin. Man, those guys are good. Fabiano, yeah, truth hurts. Poniachi is really good at blitz and rapid. Wow, plays blitz and rapid when he's playing slow chess. So don't be surprised when Gary gets 50% or less. I'm guessing less. And then I will make a video of how great he is when he gets in the top 3. But I think McGregor is going to win before Kasparov gets in the top 3. But not really, because McGregor has 0 chance. I'm expecting -1, which I think will be good for him, and come in 6th or 7th place. That's my guess. So we'll see, I guess, in 4 or 5 days or however long it takes. Tomorrow's my brother's birthday. Say happy birthday. He's 51 tomorrow. And next month is my birthday. We open the Chess Center on 9/9. Don't forget to show up. And don't forget the most important thing, bring money. This is Grandmaster Ben Finegold with the video of the day. See you guys tomorrow.